Coming up next on The Voice of Alabama Politics, eliminating the auditor. Also, the V team takes a look at putting gaming on hold. And Cowboy rep Mike Ball wants to introduce a new ethics law.
They're back. You are gonna die.
Now you've been warned. All this and much, much more coming up next on The V. Welcome to The Voice of Alabama Politics, where we tackle the tough issues so you have the hard facts. I'm your host, Bill Britt, and today I'm joined by Josh Moon, investigative reporter with APR and columnist, Susan Britt, research guru and associate editor at APR. Charlie Walker, you're back.
I am back.
And you are assistant to the editors at APR and a freelance writer for the New York Times.
Yes.
How you been?
I have been really good. I've missed y'all.
Yeah, we missed you too.
Who is that?
Okay, Josh, just stay at your end of the table and I'll stay at mine, and this will go real smooth.
I haven't seen you down there in a while. Where you been?
Okay, well, there you go.
Behind the
All right,
scenes.
I'm glad. All right.
Children.
So, Josh,
Yes,
ethics bill.
we have none.
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were stopping with ethics. Sorry.
No, we got the ethics of a Bangkok brothel owner. I tell you what's happened, though, is once again, we have another ethics rewrite. Representative Mike Ball from up in the Madison, Huntsville area.
Yeah, proud of him.
A very good friend of Mike Hubbard. In 2015, he got on the stand at a pretrial hearing for Mike Hubbard, and he said that his job as chair of the ethics committee in the House was to make sure that no one ever got convicted like Mike again.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted to keep Mike out of jail, but he also wanted to rewrite the law. If this bill passes, Josh, he will have fulfilled his promise because it is just flat out awful.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know why voters continue to let people get away with this. I know that we like to put on the jerseys and vote for Republicans here, and I understand that everybody's on the team and all that, but at a point, there has to be some consequence for people doing things that you don't like. And there is nobody in this state who looks at the ethics laws and thinks, well, they should be weaker. We don't want those guys to follow the ethics laws like that. Nobody thinks that. And every single time we have written stories about this version or the one before with Albritton or the one before that with whoever, Steve Marshall was behind and all that. Every single time we've done that, people have been outraged. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I can't believe they're doing that. And then right after they've weakened the ethics laws, everybody has gone right the hell out and voted for them.
Yeah, I know.
So there's no until there's a consequence, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
You're going to get the stuff Mike Hubbard did, which everybody agrees is illegal or should be illegal, except for the people in the State House over here, his buddies. They're going to continue to make it legal. That's what their goal is until you punish them and hold them accountable.
Well, Susan, they've even come up with one that I never thought of. And the thing is, under Ball's law, it would make it that the Attorney General nor any of the county DAs could bring a lawsuit or a public corruption case against a lawmaker unless it passed through the Ethics Commission first.
You mean the clown court?
Yes.
The clown court that are appointed by the people in the State House
Yeah.
would get to say whether somebody from the State House could be prosecuted by an AG or a DA.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, any public official,
That's
you have to
ridiculous.
get Lynn Stewart's approval.
That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And that was kind of my thinking on it. I mean, back in 2010, we had the toughest in the nation's ethics laws, and over the last 10 years, I mean, we've managed to completely squander that, and now we have Mike Ball, who is trying to turn around and give more power to literally the most unethical commission we have, which just so happens to be called the Ethics Commission.
There you go.
So,
and let's not forget, this includes junkets. This includes lawmakers being able to be considered consultants and present things in front of the governor, ADECA, whomever, and not be penalized for it. Same exact thing that Mike Hubbard got convicted on.
I don't think people realize what that means. So essentially, you could do what Mike Hubbard did, which is sign up a client, sign up a pharmaceutical client, for let's say, and then go and put language in a bill, or consult your fellow lawmakers to say, hey, we're going to put this language in the bill that creates a monopoly for these people over here who I have a contract with.
And they're paying me $20,000 a month or more.
Or if you don't go with that, then I'm going to block all the other crap that you do, that you want to do here.
Well, it's just, and that Mike Ball still sits as the chair of the Ethics Committee in the House.
That is outrageous.
Well, we take it seriously.
Yeah.
We take it
It
real
just shows
seriously.
that they do not care. Well, somebody cares, because Senator Andrew Jones, who's been in the Senate about 3 minutes.
It's from up Block County way.
And actually, this makes me hopeful that Senator Jones will do well, because he's come up with a bill that will eliminate the office of the auditor.
Finally.
not quick enough.
This is not aimed at Jim Ziegler specifically.
Did they make that retroactive?
Are we sure?
It may not be aimed at Jim Ziegler specifically, but he has made it abundantly clear that the office of the auditor is useless for anything but being a bully pulpit for an idiot like Jim Ziegler.
That poor little troll.
It's true. I mean, if you go back, if you look at the auditor's page, like when the I-10 bridge debate was going on.
Yeah, his Facebook page.
His Facebook page.
Yeah, officially.
Out of 100 posts, there might be 2 where he had done an audit on an agency or a department. Out of 100 posts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and there's really nothing for the auditor to do.
The guy inserted himself in a school tax debate in Athens.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, it was auditor.
Yeah, it's auditor. It was auditor Jim Ziegler's coming to participate in the debate or the protest. I mean, down at the bridge. I mean, he's filing lawsuits against everybody.
Obviously doesn't have a job to do.
I mean, the big job of the auditor of Alabama is not what people think it is. All they're doing is is the desk there? Did y'all, did the desk
They do inventory.
It's under 500, right?
Yeah, it's Wanda's. It's everything over 500. Like Wanda's desk,
right?
That he searched for.
Right.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, the people who that look at this position of auditor here, they think that it is like the auditors of public accounts that we have in the state, who actually go out and take a look at everybody's books and say, hey, you misspent over here, you don't have this in the right account, or these people aren't allowed to take money, you got to pay it back, or whatever. And they are the ones who actually flag all the spending that goes on. That's not what he does. He goes out and makes sure you still have the crap that you bought. That's all it is.
Right. And understand too, though,
Did the big copier go away?
Yeah, this is not exactly aimed at Jim Ziegler, because it doesn't go into effect until after his term is expired, and he was term limited anyway in that position.
And thank God he's term limited, because it's going to be harder for him to win another elected
but
office.
he's going to run for something.
Oh, he's running for
he'll
everything.
run for something.
He can't
not
quit.
run.
All right, we're going to have to leave it right there. You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. Let's take a look at gambling. The governor's put it on hold.
I'm Deontay Wilder. As the heavyweight champion of the world, it is very important to make sure that every punch I throw is thrown with purpose in order to make a difference in my fight. I feel the same way about decisions made in my home state of Alabama and our nation. That is why I'm registered to vote. I encourage you to register to vote, and remember on Election Day to bring a valid photo ID to the polls. Let's make a difference.
What are you doing today, babe?
I thought I'd head down to the lake with the guys, do a little fishing. Of course, none of us will be wearing our seatbelts. I'll lose control of the truck, wrap it around a tree, and kill us all.
Okay.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
The Energy Institute of Alabama promotes reliable, affordable, and clean energy to help grow our economy, create high-paying jobs, and build public support for Alabama's energy industry. The Energy Institute of Alabama is the best source of energy industry information and how it affects households across the state, from convenient energy production to alternative fuels to solar power and beyond.
Welcome back to the voice of Alabama politics. So, Governor Kay Ivey, during her State of the State, asked the legislature to stand down on the gaming issue and give her time to appoint a study group to find out exactly how much money we could gain from the various types of gaming. All right, she's appointed that group. But this week, you know, over the last 2 weeks since she's done that, or a week and a half, there have been like this bill, this meeting, that meeting to try to push gaming forward, Susan. So the big question is,
Behind the scenes,
did people follow Governor Ivey's lead? And so we asked the speaker, and he said that he was working with the governor on this work study group, and every indication I got from the speaker was that he is with Governor Ivey that all gaming issues, including the lottery, are on hold.
yes. Even though I think Klaus has a bill for a paper lottery now.
He does.
There was some talk about everybody, all the interested racetracks and PCI coming together.
Well, Senator Marsh had a meeting with all those and tried to get something going.
To get that done. But if Speaker McCutcheon is on the page with Kay Ivey, then that bill's not going anywhere.
I mean, it hasn't stopped it hasn't stopped PCI from running their millions of dollars worth of ads. Yeah. It hasn't stopped Robbie McGee, the vice chair of PCI, and their lobbyists from being all over the place. I mean, there's still a push on to bring gaming to the table, even though now we have Governor Ivey and the speaker saying no.
Yeah, I think that's dead, and I think anybody with any sort of sense, kind of understands that's dead. You're not going to. First of all, it's going to be an uphill battle to get it out of the House, no matter what you were doing. Anything to get out of there was going to be tough. And if you've got the governor saying, "Oh, I would like some extra time," then it puts up even without McCutcheon being on her side, I think it put up a roadblock that they were never going to be able to overcome, because you're never going to be able to get past the tracks, because that's where they have their most power, I believe, is in the House with the folks that represent those areas and Macon and Greene counties. And, they have a little bit of power in the Senate as well, but I think it's an easier course for them to push things out of there, which is the reason why they started in there last year with their gambling bill that they wanted to push. But I think that right now, if you look at what's kind of taking place here, I don't see any way possible for them to get anything out of this until Ivey says, okay, let's do it.
Well, and that seemed to be what I took away, that she now owns this issue, and she wants to get it done. The last time a governor took control of this issue was in 1999 when Governor Don Siegelman tried to get the lottery passed. It failed. Yeah. But Josh, you and I and Susan have looked at polling that shows that this is a winning issue for the governor.
Minds have overwhelmingly changed on this issue statewide, and by a resounding number. I mean, we're talking about people, 70% of Alabamians want their lottery where back then that wasn't true.
Yeah, and I think if you look at what's taking place, when you look at the timing and the way everything's going to have to fall out of this, let's say that they allow this group to go on for a few months. Well, you're not going to be able to get it on the ballot this year, and so then you're looking at 2 years down the road, which happens to coincide with Governor Ivey being up for re-election. And so if she can bring a deal to the table at that point, if you can push this forward and say, hey, we've brought everybody to the table. This is a comprehensive sort of a thing that we want to get pushed forward. Everybody agrees on it. It's passed the legislature. Look what I've done. Then I think the numbers say that's a hell of a win for her at that point.
And too, she's taken the politics out of it, sort of, in the way she's appointed not legislators.
Right.
You put legislators on some sort of task force. They've all got a dog in that fight. They're going to fight for whatever they want. And what she's done is put together some CEOs. I think Young Boozer's on there. Former Mayor Todd Strange is on there.
Right, the gambling policy group she's put together. There's 12 members on that. Todd Strange, former mayor of Montgomery, Young Boozer, former treasurer.
Treasurer,
Yeah, treasurer. So there's a lot of people on here that you just don't even know who they are.
Even Phil Rawls is on there, former AP reporter who's now now a professor at Auburn University. They wanted a media person on there, so it was transparent. And I think that was a good choice.
Well, and they said that they wanted distinguished Alabamians, and that's why Josh and I didn't make the cut.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the only thing I was a little confused about with the group is, like, I'm in no way questioning Ivey's administration at all and their choices, but I mean, is every person on the list, I mean, if this is the only way we're going to get close to any kind of gambling legislation, is every one of them, like, as qualified as they can be for this?
No.
Okay, that's
I think you've said it.
What
Group
organization?
Of novices.
What committee in Alabama is that?
That's my main question here.
Yeah, and I think that's a good question, but it's, I think what the goal was to kind of set up this group of novice people that were not, and that's not to question like their intelligence or anything.
No, not at all.
Wrong. I'm not questioning that at all. All I'm saying is that you would think that these people have their daily lives, and if you ask them about the politics of, let's say, Indian gaming law, they would go, I have no idea, because why would they?
Right.
And so I think it's going to be something that they're going to have to learn as they go along. I'm interested to see how much, kind of time and effort they put into that, and I'm interested to see the people that they go to and the sources that they go to get the information that they need, and whether or not they're going to, they're going to allow themselves to be swayed one way or the other.
I mean, really, if you look at folks like Sam Cochran, who's mobile sheriff, he's the only one that's currently serving in a position. Most of these people are in other positions. You've got engineers, you've got physicians, and so I think what it is a broad spectrum of smart people that can come together and look at, the only mandate really here is they look at what kind of money can we make and which ones bring us the kind of money that would benefit the state. So I think that's, I don't know enough of these people, and you can research them, and all you find out is they've ran some smart companies, they've got some high degrees, and generally speaking, they know they're good common sense folks.
Yeah, it's all, the tale of the whole thing is going to be in how they go about gaining the information that they need.
That's right. And again, we don't know. What it does seem that is abundantly clear is that Governor Kay Ivey wants to own this issue. Not in the sense that she wants to, but she said, we're going to settle this once and for all, just like she has on the gas tax, just like she is on the prisons. All right, we're going to leave it right there. You're watching The V, the voice of Alabama politics. We have some new polling in the U.S. Senate race. Not surprising, but new.
I'm Charles Barkley. As an impact player on the court in college and the NBA, it was very important for me to make a difference in the game. I feel the same way about decisions made in my home state of Alabama and in our nation. That's why I'm registered to vote. I want to encourage you to be registered to vote and make sure you bring your voter ID to the polls. Let's make a difference.
Hey man, what are you doing today?
Playing the game. Thought I'd go out for a drive later, maybe. Text some friends while I'm doing it. Scroll through social media. Kill a family 4 and a head-on collision.
Cool, man.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
A lot can change in 5 years. Except those smile lines you treated with Bellafill. Because that's about how long Bellafill will keep them smooth and filled. 5 years. Now you can always look your best without all those injections, appointments, and costs. Bellafill is the only dermal filler that stimulates and maintains collagen growth long term. Now time is on your side.
Welcome back to The Bee, the voice of Alabama politics. It is not surprising that the city of Birmingham, and especially Mayor Woodfin, is not real happy with the state legislature. You know, several years ago, under Mayor Bell, they covered the monuments in Birmingham, the Confederate monuments in Lynn Park in Birmingham. The state ruled that they could not do that, and they threatened a $26,000 fine. Now the state wants to come back and fine them $10,000 a day for having these Confederate monuments covered.
Yes. They have not taken them down. We thought they would, but they didn't, and
Yeah,
I'm not sure where they're going with this.
I think they ought to take them down. Honestly.
You had a good idea. What's your idea of what should be done?
Tear it down.
Okay.
I mean, really, take it and move it to the Civil Rights Institute there in town. Okay, pay the $25,000 fine. I mean, right now it's $25,000, right? So, and that's what it's going to be, because that's what the Supreme Court said, is it's $25,000. That's what the law said. So, tear it down and take it to the Civil Rights Institute.
But as Jonathan brought up before the show, there is some issue with the deed to Lynn Park over that. There's something in which they can't find the deed.
They can't find the deed.
That's the problem.
They can't find it.
But there was something in it that nothing could be removed.
You are the city of Birmingham. You have lawyers at your disposal. Use them.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm going to take the position of the other side here. And the other side says that these are monuments that again, I'm not saying this for me, but this is what people are saying.
Enslaved other people.
They are saying that these are part of the Southern heritage that they feel should be protected.
Put them in a museum and protect them.
We're not trying to disparage your history. It is clear.
Yes, I am disparaging their history.
Josh is trying to.
I am disparaging this history that should be disparaged.
What's your point, Charlie?
People trying to move on from this history. So just, I agree. I do agree with you. I think we should just.
I'm just tired of people beating around the bush with this and tiptoeing around about it and saying that we're not trying to disparage. Yes, this is a history that should be disparaged. They were enslaving people. There is no reason to memorialize them, okay? However they felt about it at that point in time is how they felt. We don't feel that way now. Move the monument to the Civil Rights Institute and be done with it.
But there are people who...
Idiots!
It doesn't matter. There are people who believe this, and therefore, they're represented by the majority of the House and Senate.
Not in Birmingham.
But they are in the State House.
I understand.
And the 1901 racist Constitution gives them the power to do this. Again, I'm not going to argue for them.
I know you're not. If they tear it down, what happens?
I don't think anything happens.
Exactly.
People gnashing of teeth and screaming.
If they come over and say, "Oh my God, you're torn it down, we're going to fine you," who are they going to fine? Who's going to make them pay the fine? How are they going to go about it? What are they going to do? Who's going to make them put it back up? Tear it down and move it to the Civil Rights Institute and be done with it.
Next thing you know, everybody will be kung fu fighting.
We almost having one here. So.
Surely not everybody was kung fu fighting.
Surely not.
No, it's not possible. We are on the same thing that I'm saying is this is what they want. This is what other people
You know what I want? For them to finally settle this issue so we don't have to keep hearing about it.
You're not going to do that because it's that ain't never going to happen.
I don't think it's going anywhere for a while.
I mean,
just never.
this argument has been going on since the founding of our nation. It is still the same thing because it started under a corrupt deal of slavery. We should have never had slavery to begin with.
Yes.
But they couldn't get the deal done.
Right.
It's a stain on our history. We should take down these monuments and move them to a park that's a museum, not a public space.
I'm perfectly fine with these monuments being put into a museum and a place where people go to learn about the history, which is what everybody says they're for. Oh, we're going to learn about the history and we're going to honor the history. All right, put them in a place where that is done. That's not what is happening here. When you put them in a park like this, it memorializes the people and the activities that they participated in.
Well, the thing is, all right, there is no doubt about you can argue until you're blue in face. The Confederate Constitution protected slavery right up front.
Yes.
So you can't say that wasn't a part of it.
No, that's
Also, when they promoted the 1901 Alabama Constitution, it said in there
In the advertising
that it was to protect white people. It was to protect white people.
I mean, it was just that blatant.
It wasn't there to serve all the people.
No.
It was there to serve white people.
Not all men are created equal.
Well, some are just created more equal than others.
Exactly.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But again, let's not kid ourselves that there's been this progress because that's the founding document of this state.
Yeah.
White supremacy, it said in the thing. So there you go. All right, we got a couple of minutes. No, we don't have it. We got a minute. Internal polls from Bradley Burns' campaign.
Speaking of racists, which one's leading the Senate?
Got a couple of them here.
Jeff Sessions is down from 36% to 31%.
What a shame.
Byrne is up from 16% to 26%, and Tuberville's down from 29% to 24%. Josh, you're claiming that one's outraced the other.
Yes, they have.
To the bottom.
Yeah, apparently the Byrne racist commercials is really having an effect on the racist voting population.
What would bother me is that if I were Jeff Sessions, I was sitting at 31%.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, one tweet from Donald Trump, Susan, and he's yesterday's Attorney General.
It'd be like, on the cartoons with Wile E. Coyote, where the bomb just goes poof.
Yeah.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shame.
Well,
Not a big boom, just a
what the shame is this all the Republicans have got to offer.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Jeez.
All right.
Leading.
You've been watching The V, the voice of Alabama politics. You watch us because we watch them.